Morning guys, this is Zoe. Welcome back to Headlines. Today we'll be reading an article about perfection trap. Many people ascribe their perfectionism to intrinsic attributes, such as personality, disposition, or zodiac signs they were born in. The title of the article has a strong disapproval of the term we used to call perfectionism as a hidden epidemic. 文章的标题表达了对把完美主义作为隐性流行病的不认同。This is a very brilliant article, in particular the language, and I'll deliver as much as I could in the expanse of duration of the video. Anyway, I hope that you find everything just worth it by the end of this episode. Okay, let's get started. The Perfection Trap decries what it calls a hidden epidemic. For your reference, The Perfect Trap is the book written by Thomas Curran, and he finds some unusual culprits for the scourge of perfectionism. Decry is cry down. Obviously, with the prefix the de, it means to denounce or criticize strongly. As China Daily reported, experts decry Dell's move away from Chinese chips. Humanitarian aid groups decry treatment of immigrants by federal agencies. 强烈谴责对待移民的方法。Culprit is someone or something that is responsible for bad consequences. 图书作者找到了一些不同寻常的导致完美主义折磨人的罪魁祸首。Here is example from 新华 America de facto culprit of multiple global risk. 美国是很多全球问题的罪魁祸首。Mr. Curran thinks the obsessive pursuit of ever higher standards rather than compelling achievement is mainly a scourge. Drawing on both academic research and his own experiences of deficit thinking, he made a vigorous case, albeit one occasionally marked by cliché. 文章的第一段 Mr. Curran 引用了霍桑的一个短篇故事来说明完美主义的危险。I will not go through the short story, but if you're interested in it, go ahead and visit my WeChat account where you could find the full-length article. Thomas Curran 认为痴迷于更高的标准而不是驱动向前的成果是一种折磨。The psychologist regarded his motivations of seeking perfection as a deficit thinking. Deficit is an economic term referring to amount of money that falls short of the expected one. Budget deficit, 财政预算赤字. Trade deficit, 贸易逆差. Deficit here is imperfection or defect, 不足. Say physical or attention deficit. Deficit thinking is a thinking with a flaw. Make a vigorous case is to make a strong argument. And the key sentence marked in blue is the argument in our contests. Albeit is a formal way to say although or even though, which we don't normally use in day-to-day life. Mr. Curran distinguishes between three sorts of perfectionism. The first, which looks inward, is the relentless self-scolding of the workaholic or punctilious student. The second version, directed towards the others, is commonly found in bosses who have unrealistic expectations of their staff and decry their supposed feelings. The third and most troublesome kind is the form imputed to societies, an all-encompassing belief that everybody at all times expects us to be perfect. 有三种完美主义，一种是向内的 look inward， 比如说像 workaholic 或者 punctilious students， 一丝不苟、谨小慎微的学生。Unlike being meticulous or scrupulous, which are mostly positive, being punctilious is extremely attentive to details. For example, he's very punctilious about people using correct grammar. 那第二种呢是 have unrealistic expectations of others, 对别人的期待很高。那第三种呢是 impute to society, that is to blame the society for shaping perfectionists, 认为社会是塑造了完美主义者的罪魁祸首。Impute to is to ascribe to or attribute to, 把什么归结于什么 but it emphasizes the blame and responsibility on unpleasant consequence. Impute to 的归因一般是归责 The murderers feel no remorse, but impute guilt to others. The next phrase is also very useful, an all-encompassing belief. 社会呢要我们全方位的无处不在的相信每人每时每刻都要完美。Having noted the ways in which this pathology inflames vulnerabilities and erodes resilience, Mr. Curran suggests some causes. These include a lack of job security, neurotic supervision by helicopter parents, and the gaudy blandishment of advertising, which fuel consumptions and anxiety. The very fabric of this economy is woven from our discontent. Pathology, 病理, which I believe refers to the all-encompassing belief mentioned above.Inflame vulnerabilities, 让脆弱雪上加霜 erode resilience, 侵蚀人的韧性。哇，这两个动词用得太好了。If you inflame a situation or one's feeling, you just set a fire on it. US continue to inflame tensions on Korean peninsula, 加强紧张的局势。This pathology is embodied in some basic facts in our lives. neurotic supervision by helicopter parents. 家长对于孩子精神上的监督。Helicopter parents 这就是时刻盘旋在孩子上空要保护或者控制孩子的家长。The gaudy blandishments of advertising. 华而不实但是讨人欢心的广告。哇，是这些东西。Fuel consumption and anxiety 刺激了消费和焦虑。A gaudy 华而不实。The keyboard with the screen inside makes your gaudy PC setup even gaudier. Blandishments usually in its plural form. 花言巧语或者是一些讨人欢心的话。The lawmakers must resist big tech's blandishments. The fabric of this economy is woven from our discontent. 这块经济的布料呢，是由人们的不满足编织起来的。Be woven from, the root form of woven is weave. 编织我们学过了。The author's greatest odium, though, is directed at meritocracy. In this, he draws on the thinking of another philosopher who has argued that using education as a giant sorting machine creates a toxic obsession with credentials, dividing society into winners and losers and depleting the common good. Odium is diversion or dislike, 厌恶、憎恶。那心理学家最憎恶的是 meritocracy, 精英式的教育或者是管理，因为它把人分成了 winner 和 loser。And merit, 美德优点成绩好。Aristocracy, 贵族。那么这个组合呢，就是把美德优点成绩好作为一个高社会阶层。Whatever its economic merits, his argument errs in treating perfectionism as a pure cultural phenomenon. Might it not also be a disposition embedded in the psyche? Tellingly, his guidance, keep going, don't yield, keep practicing that acceptance of fortune and fate, is couched in the language of the perfectionist around-the-clock report card. This is the last paragraph of the article. You might be puzzled, like, is it plot twist? Because the columnist seems to disagree with the psychologist's idea. You know, it was my bad, for I only excerpted some of the paragraphs from the article, which might create some incoherency. The columnist refuted the psychologist's stance by pointing out his guidance to perfectionists is exactly expressed in the language of the typical perfectionists. Might not also be is the rhetorical question. 这篇专栏的作者用了一个反问句，指出心理学家呢，他认为完美主义是社会造成的，是外部的，但是他给这些人的建议呢 ，keep on going 等等，不也是深植于人心的吗？而且他恰恰是 is couched in the language， 用满分的完美主义的话语表达出来的。Is couched in the language is to express in the language. The story couched in a movie music. 这个故事是一种感人的音乐的方式表达出来的。I assume that most of you have got the gist of the paragraph, but could any one of you just give us a more elegant Chinese version of the paragraph? And do you in part agree with the psychologist's perspective that some perfectionists may be trained by our society? I know there are a lot of things to process. That's why I changed my update schedule from every Monday to Thursday back-to-back to every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out any of my new videos. This is Headlines. I'll see you next time.